Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode we're going to go back into ranked play and I'm going to go back to the Extilior attrition list, the one I've had the most success with recently. I'm really tempted to change a couple of things. In fact, I actually think I'm going to. While I'm here, I'm going to just try out swapping Captivator Xianya over for Zapper and Enki. And Enki has been insane every time I've seen it so far, and I think it might just be really good. So I want to give that a go. This list is designed to basically work on taking out the enemy crew. We want to put pressure on early with Extilior. We've got a bit of utility in Peacemaker Balam and Stitching with Patchy, but mostly we're just trying to take out the crew and play the game that way. So hopefully this will be a bit of fun. We can, hopefully gain some ranks. We're working our way. We've made it Silver 3. We need to get 200 more rank points, and we get 20 per battle. So it's 10 wins to get up to, say, to Silver 2, I assume. So let's give it a go. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's the best thing you can do for the moment. I'm really trying to push for 500, hopefully before the end of October. That would be incredible. But other than that, if you could just like the videos, drop a comment. I actually read every single comment. There's a few I haven't got around to replying to yet, but I reply to, I'd say probably like 80-90% of comments. I try to reply to as many as I can, and I just love hearing from you guys. And if you really want to support any more than that, the Patreon is the best way you can do. I'm going to use things from the Patreon initially just to upgrade things for the channel itself. So I'm looking to put that towards eventually a camera, a new PC, some editing software, that sort of thing. But we'll see how that goes in the long run. But for now, I'll see you once we get in the game. Okay, we have found ourselves a game. We're against Killjugz, JGS, level 0 player. So we only get 10 points for victory here. But I don't think I've ever played against a level 0 player. Like that's very unusual. Well, hopefully your opponent doesn't have too unfun of a game. I'm hoping that they're actually quite experienced and then are just popping into ranked for the first time, maybe. Although their account level will be up. Who knows? But either way, I hope my opponent has a fun game regardless. I don't want it to be an unfun experience, but I am still playing in the ranked mode, so I do want to make sure that I'm at least doing my best and trying to sort of represent the list as well as possible. So Gardner Joe can be difficult for Extilior because Extilior very much does rely on that melee damage, so the plants can really make a difference. Okay, so their Deadeye's out, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at moving over here, placing our Deadeye here and just getting this shot as early as possible, and then we can protect our Deadeye just as much as they can protect theirs. That doesn't do anything because it's now at the end of turn, so basically they gain basically one bonus health sort of, because it comes off of there, and then we're going to take that away with our Deadeye. I mean, if we could get Detonia somewhere safe, that would be perfect, but we can't quite yet. So I'd rather save that resource, play Deadeye down, and even just go, given that we get 30% accuracy, I'd probably rather be as far away as possible. Control zones are over that way, so yeah, there's not really much to do here. We're just going to make it harder for them to get a different angle and deploy in this direction. We'll Ozos here and shoot there, and then we'll just Shield of Hope as well. So this is a fairly standard turn. We're basically trading 1 damage each. They're going to be able to hit us for 2. We're going to be able to hit them for 2, but they're healing 1 from this. We're putting 1 shield on. It averages out pretty much the same when there's 1 unit. Eventually, Zhou will be able to protect more units. So we really want to be making good use of our time the next turn. So looking at what we've got, we don't have any way of killing this next turn realistically. So unless they get in range of Extilior, which I would be absurdly surprised if they did, then we're not going to get anything. Okay, so they're just going defensive. The interesting thing about them moving up here is depending on what they deploy here. So, okay, that's just a plant. So what we could do is we could actually deploy our Arya up here and just start trying to chip more damage onto their Deadeye, and then we can just, poke at other things in the meantime. Or we could try and go for something like a Detonia, throw it at multiple targets, which might be nice, and just try and play a slightly slower game. But we can always do that next turn. I think Arya could be a really useful unit this turn. Okay, so who's this? Oh, it's Maximus. Okay, sure. So if they're trapped in their little bubble and they don't go over here, then we're in a great spot. If they do go over there, we're just going to send Arya there, I think. They need to make a decision. They're only going to deal 1 damage, so if they miss one of these 2... okay, they did hit both. That's about accurate. Ooh, they didn't move. Okay, so... interestingly, that changes this a lot. So if we shoot here, get the 100%, we can then move up to here. We can spin around. I'm actually going to move down this way with Deadeye. However, I will shield Deadeye first, I believe, because we want to be able to potentially go for a second objective. And then with Aria, just popping it down here. In fact, we may as well make sure we get 100%. In fact, no, we'd rather... We want to stay safe. I think 96 is reasonable. We'll just clear this out, hopefully. There we go. And now we're putting pressure on both objectives. So next turn we'll be able to sort of take both of them. We're near to their units with Extilior, and we've got units that can deal damage at multiple ranges with 4 resources next turn. I'm probably looking... Okay, so they haven't deployed onto the objective, so we are going to be able to take this and start chipping more damage in this direction, I think. So what we're going to basically try and do here is probably play Furia, because I actually think that Furia here is one of the only things that can chew through these units relatively easily. If they don't do much with Deadeye, we're going to use both Extilior and Aria to try and take Deadeye out. One of the interesting things in the current version of the game is that going for the Captain is often not the right choice anymore, because Captain damage is significantly less useful on the route to victory, because you only need to kill 5 crew or gain the control points, and it really does sort of change the speed of the game if you're going for captains instead, because you just have to do a lot more when they can just be using that to take out your other resources. Okay, so the mistake they've made there is when they placed a plant, they could have placed one here to block our movement onto Deadeye. So here, we've only got 33%, so we could just use our ability there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move up to here, and we've got 5 damage for Extilior, so we can spin first. We can get a hit. We do need to get our 3 damage in, so I'm just going to take the safe approach and just move back this way and hit Stillness. Go for that. And then we're going to just move over here, take this control point. Okay, so our opponents conceded the game there. I think they've realised how far ahead we were, and it's going to be really, really hard to come back from that point, because essentially they have to start contesting both objectives and not losing any crew whatsoever. So I think our opponent actually played fairly reasonably for what I'm assuming is one of their first games, because they haven't got any account level whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure you still get some of that at least through any PvP whatsoever. So let's see what the lists were. So we've done one here. I forgot we've got this banner crest here. So Zappa and Enki's gone up, even though we didn't use it. Furia's going up as well. Unit Mastery 10 now. Nice. Okay, we hit that. And then Deadeye's obviously right up there. Stitchy's nearly there. Our opponent's list was... What are they working with? So Gardner Joe. Deadeye's still a very good 2-drop. They've got Maximus, Toxoid, Beatrice, Noxus. So they've got like an interesting variety of things. I think the thing I'd say here is that they've got a bit of range damage, a bit of melee damage, and a bit of sort of defensive things. It doesn't necessarily seem to have sort of that real long-range threat. So being able to put Beatrice and Aegis Defense Dome down with Neck Divine is a really good defensive position, but you need to be able to have something that can deal real damage at long range, and without Deadeye, they don't have a consistent way of doing that. So that's something I'd bear in mind for the future for our opponent, but all in all, a really good game. Like I said in the last video, I do not have that long to record at the moment, so unfortunately that is going to be the only game I play for now. If I get this sort of situation in the future, hopefully I'll be playing a couple of games to try and give you a bit longer of a video. So sorry this one is a bit shorter, but it is a needs-must kind of situation. I've still really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have too. If you have, don't forget to subscribe first of all. Best thing you can do to support me and the channel. You can like, you can comment, you can join Patreon, anything you want to just give a little bit of a nod to me. It's really, really appreciated. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, have a good day.